The wisdom of the moment. I would normally call this hearing the tones, but I was guided to call it the wisdom of the moment. These are those ideas that I want people to see in the moment when I literally was still in bed and heard a new tone, which was basically a distinctive two tone instead of one long tone in one of my ears. And I always make a note in my journal about that because I want us to see, for those who start hearing, just as I'm hearing now another tone in my left ear, how wise we can all be in our wisdom. This is so that we all can rise in our hearts and have faith that we are being guided not only by our own soul, but by higher visions of love. For those of you who understand what that might mean, it could be the angel vibration, it could be other light beings or beings of love. Okay, now some will say, what is light? We're not going to get into that. Let's get into the nitty gritty. I apologize for how I am presenting myself. Others will say, this is not professional. It's not meant to be a professional performance. It's meant to be an on the spot. I did take a little bit of effort to sit there and actually put on some sunblock and stuff. But most times when I do that, you will see me, it could be in the middle of the night. Most often it won't, because my own soul wants me to have a beautiful, flourishing day, and that means getting plenty of rest. But anyways, that's also another thing. I was up since 2. So here we go. What is it that is so important that I have to come on the screen in the moment? What wisdom is it that we're looking at? The wise ones, right? The wise ones. How many people know what it's like to hear the vision of future in the moment? It was a good day for me. That's one of the messages I got last night. This is going to be a great day for me. What it's not going to be is a tragic story of someone else's loss. Okay? But what it means is that there is something to be said and understood from a higher level of love. Now, the love that we share together in this moment is something that people are not going to understand. I connected with my heart last night in a dream state. This is why I'm here. Okay, I know how to connect with others in the dream state, and I just want to acknowledge that vision that I was there as well. Whether or not it was a productive dream or the best dream, it doesn't matter. Sometimes we have dreams with our soulmates or with those that we connect with, and there are messages in those dreams for us. Okay? And so some are going to say, oh, this is just about Brenda's dream state. This is about showing you what it is to do the work and allow people to see how fantastic it can be and how fabulous it can be, or how struggled I could be struggling. I can struggle in my moments sometimes. So let's think about this. Whose wisdom am I bringing through? Who gets to tell me about not just my own soul, but the soul of another? It's a connection of our hearts. It's a connection of our souls. And we often dismiss those messages of love that are not necessarily from our own soul. Okay, so these are those guides that can come through and say, the letter A is going to be very important for someone on the screen. That's the nature of it. That's how strong it is. Okay, the connection between our own soul and those of others on the other side of the veil, if that's how you want to call it, is very much alive and well. Okay, now when I tell you that, it's like the Burton Ernie vision, that's another important version of something that's going to make sense for people. These are the children of the world that are being deconstructed. We have children now in the world suffering in this moment due to the agenda of other beings. People are afraid of other types of guidance that is not necessarily from a soul that they would recognize, a soul that they would love, on the spot, right? We're not here to do the destructive messages that some souls say need to be said. There are people who are saying that the ET vision is part of it, and others are saying, are you connected to that source of wisdom? It doesn't matter whether or not I'm connected to any other source of wisdom. All I do is I say thank you to whatever wisdom comes through. Okay, so analysis, there's an analysis by paralysis. Someone else is going through the analysis by paralysis thought form. What I want to tell you is that there are thought forms being created in the realm of love for me, and I want to honor those visions, and I want to say I can caretake your heart, but I will not be projecting any vision of romance onto anyone on the screen. That's another vision for that moment. Okay, so there are people who are announcing their intentions to me from another level of love. And that is what I want people to understand. You are going to get a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, you actually hear those visions. I get them not only in this realm, but from other realms sometimes. And so that's why the privacy enhancements have already been put in place for me. So no, it doesn't mean that I'm hearing everything that people are projecting out to me, thank goodness, or that you will, okay? So it's not about causing distress for anyone. It's not about causing discomfort. It's about honoring the fact that my soul connected with my soulmate years ago on another realm. And I've done that vision before. I'm not going to repeat it, but it's like announcing the trends of society. The trends of society are to open up to the beauty and freedom of us to love whoever we are, whether or not it resides in the hearts of others or not. You're not going to like what I have to say about Judas Priest. Okay, so when I hear those tones, I had to figure out the hard way not to embody the vision of an empath who could take the energy in and heal someone. That's more like the medical intuitive, but the empath version is very much able to do that as well. And I got my hat handed to me by someone because they say, I don't even know who this lady is, right? What do you mean? It was literally a sign from my heart to his about the pain in his chest. And the discomfort that I felt was so overwhelming that I ended up in the emergency room knowing it wasn't my own. That's how strong it was. But that's how careful I was in my own understanding of what the heck is going on, and the reassurance that I got that it indeed was not my issue. Okay? It was that critical because it was a life and death situation for that soul who did indeed flourish in his vision of I am now one with all. That's his soul. He's that grateful for the experience of being told that he was united with his own soul. Okay? So for those of you that are worried that whenever I come on live that there's something wrong, right? I haven't announced a lot of the visions, and I will be changing that shortly. But to be honest, it's about understanding the wisdom of the moment can be deceiving to some people. Some people may feel like this is a tragedy that is waiting. It's not for the general public, is what some people will say. But this is for those who are in the process and wanting to see what it's like to go through these visions, because I in fact know people who are hearing tones, who are acknowledging the messages in the moment, and some of them are indeed of the I am of light. Okay, that's the nature. We're not dealing with the dark energy that people are projecting upon the screen. It's a beautiful vision. If I'm to help someone ahead of time, I will be told about it. If the messages are there to wisen us up to the nature of the anger that we're creating in this world due to Merrick Garland. That's another vision that I was told about. Okay, his vision is in distress on a certain level due to the fact that he has so many people hating who he is. Please disregard any information about a certain soul. It's like I have to make sure that when I come through with messages for the general public, that there is no privacy issues being revealed. And my soul will never do that. But it's basically, I'm supposed to be disregarding the messages from, it's like John Cusack and his family. I hear from them almost daily on a soul level, believe it or not. And it's a troubling experience for some people because they would say, I know this is like a tell-all video. It is not. It is about understanding why this whole vision exploded onto the scene. I know who I am. That's who he says he is. Okay. And he's a caretaker of so many people's hearts that he's allowing many of us to enjoy his soul on various levels. I get his messages of wisdom handed to me without even knowing that they're his. And it is almost like someone would say this is a Ku Klux Klan. He's of the Klan vision, which is basically fighting the supremacy vision. And that's the nature of where he's at in this moment. Calling out for his soulmate, please don't reveal my source of wisdom. You want to know what the source of wisdom is for all of us? It's our souls, right? And other people are going to say, no, I go to the newspaper. You want to know what it's like to know what's happening with Merrick Garland on a soul level? It's not to be a revealing, but it's like, let's ease up on the man, okay? Let's ease up on him. So many people are calling for him to do something that he is not willing to do in this moment. He must take his time. He must be thoughtful in his process. He must align all the pieces of the puzzle in his mind. That is the nature of his soul. I am ready to do the work that needs to be done, but I need people to back off of who I am. He is not here as a public figure to be disfigured. He's receiving the threats already from many sources of wisdom, and we want people to say, if we are truly in support of justice, we will not degrade the man's soul. Okay, you can't degrade his soul. His soul is strong, but in essence, who his vision is, he's doing the best damn job he can with what he's got in the moment and what he knows in the moment. And everyone is assuming they've got all the answers. And I'm telling you, there's always more going on behind the scenes than what you think you know. Everyone assumes I'm the backseat driver trying to tell the driver how to drive the bus. He's his own bus driver. Let him do his work. That's basically the message of love. Let the man do his work so we can all be able to see the process as it unfolds. Opinions are not needed, is what he says to all of us. I have the values of justice already in place. Okay, so if it is ready, it is ready. I am not going to do a disservice to this country by allowing the public pressure and opinions to sway or dissuade me from doing my job. I am not being, it's like kowtowed to the public. That's a phrase I don't even know. It's Brenda's own vision as she connects with that soul. He is needing the compassion and the understanding of a man who is in such dire straits within one vision because of how many people are holding him accountable for the death of their own vision of Trump as an innocent man. Okay? It's a vision they have. They don't care whether or not the truth is actually being revealed or not. And if this doesn't align with your political ideology, then you might want to run along and go play with the school children in the yard, because that's who we all are. Until you go through this process of soul, you have no idea what it's like to know what's going on behind the scenes from their soul. I will get told the truth from this plane of reality, okay? And it hurts me to hurt people's minds sometimes. This is going to be one of those visions of understanding the soul is very honored to be a part of my heart. Others are going to say, what does that mean? It means I don't disregard anyone, even those who are on the film saying, wow, that was a degrading vision. It's not. We're like the school children playing games, the bullies of the world, the innocence of the world. Right? We're all innocent. We don't know what the fuck is going on. I can guarantee you that. Everyone assumes they know what's going on in this world, and you have no idea. Okay? Now, if that offends your sensibilities, I'm sorry, but this is the nature of what light beings would be coming through with, right? No, this is about love. Not only love of ourselves, but love of our country and love of the globe. Because these visions have impact. These visions are going global. What we do here affects the global perspective on not only who Trump is or isn't, depending on your mindset, but on how we spread the love around the world. So if people need to open up their eyes to the nature of truth-telling, by all means, let's go through that vision. We're starting to see it portrayed on the screen as a guide. A guide will always, it's like, decide to tell us that we're beautiful. That's one vision. Okay? Our own souls will always guide us to a better place. Sometimes your souls will let you know in a strong way. Go into any spiritual group, and those that are in direct contact with their own soul know that vision. If you resist certain things, you start to get your hat handed to you. It gets hard if you resist the temptations of love, right? It's all love. It's not meant to hurt people. But if you can't handle the truth, then by all means, get out of the kitchen. That's where I land. I'm not here to hold people's hands through a process as of yet. I can do that vision on an individual basis, but on a soul-to-soul level understanding, people know deep down what is and isn't right. Whether or not you care to admit it is a whole different process of understanding. We are in denial in this country about our problems. We are in denial about our women and the fights that are going on due to the nature of abortion. I know what it's like to talk to the justices of the Supreme Court on a soul level and get their feedback on a soul level. That's how strong I am. I don't want you to be fearful of the process. I don't want you to be fearful of who I am. I don't want you to be fearful of anyone's soul. So when someone says, I'm going to kill somebody, or I'm going to kill you because you disagree with my opinion about a political candidate, we have an issue on a soul level. Your soul will never align with violence on that kind of vision, guaranteed, because you're going to jail most likely. Okay? And if you're willing to do that vision, Brenda's saying it's the death threats that Merrick Garland's getting. Good luck. Good luck with that one. Okay? You're going to get your hat handed to you. You think that you're going to be free and clear on the other side of the veil when you do that vision? You think you don't have to somehow come to a peaceful resolution with the person that you actually did that vision with? Do you know what it's like to know how to deal with the serial killers of the world? Okay? So this is what I'm telling people. You don't want to mess with the justice system. It is put in place for a reason. It is not faulty in that it is only one level of justice. So this is about those people who are trying to create it in their minds with others. They feel like I've got a better understanding of what it is to be of justice. You have no fucking clue what justice is if you go storming a Capitol. Guaranteed. That is not justice in the highest vision. It's honored on a soul level for what you did and what you created for your soul. But if you were in the mode of I am reaching out to ask people for the help on how to get myself out of the system in which I am now conditioned, that's basically what it is. It's a conditioning of your mind, and you reinforce it with those around you. This is why many souls are seeing it as a cult or some kind of institution of hate. And we can talk about the nature of hate from a different level of understanding. It is not to be demeaned. It is not to be ignored. It is to be honored as one of those emotions that we all have. How we deal with our hate is where I land. How we deal with the truth is where I land. How we honor ourselves in our fear of those who claim they're of the high, trying to save us all from ourselves. You did not vote the way you should have voted, therefore I'm going to take control. That's where most are. Okay? The levels of deception are unimaginable on the soul level. Unimaginable. You know nothing of the depth of deceit that goes on in the White House. The Supreme Court has its own issues. Many are going to come to me when they want to hear the facts about Gorsuch and his vision. It's the strength of his soul to honor me because I honor his soul on a soul level. I don't claim to hate any of them. I agree to disagree with their vision. Sometimes I get a little testy when I'm on my walks and I'm hearing the Supreme Court visions on a podcast and I get the feedback from their soul. So, when people are out screaming and yelling about the Supreme Court, you might want to think twice about that. Let's come into this vision of love. Let's honor who we are. Realize we don't know shit about what's going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of plausible conclusions to this video. Either people are going to hate it or they're going to love it. Most people are going to love it because they'll see it backed up by the news, okay? I'm a news freak. I go to Fox every so often to see what they put on the screen. Why? Because I know what's the truth and what's being perpetrated on the soul level of those souls who are claiming they're the truth. Do you want to know what that vision's like? It can be painful. It can be hard to disconnect from my own mind, but in my heart, I've done that work. I did my work. I know what it's like. Others are going to say this isn't of the high because you're dealing with the news. I'm of justice. That's in my whole fucking vibration. You want to know what it's like to know who I am? One aspect of who I am aligns with psychology and the mindset mastery. I've mastered my own mind. What does that mean? It means that part of me knows who I am. And this is for all of those who claim mastery. We understand, we think we have it all figured out. There's more going on than what I even know, okay? But I love the vibration of justice, okay? Because it's an honoring of the love of all, whether or not people want to see the truth as it is playing out on this plane of development or not. I'm not dealing with any other alternate realities, and I'm sorry if people are trying to create that through the vision of false reality. That's a lot of garbage. Okay, we're dealing with this reality, this vision, and this plane in this moment. So with that, I want to honor you. I need to get going. I have my own vision of what my life is like. And when I go to this plane, people are going to think, oh, I can't go to you because you're so strong in the political ideology. There's a reason. To tear down an aspect of my soul would be to deny the INFJ mindset that I often create in, which is a tool that in my toolbox of understanding. The Myers-Briggs vision is strong. It would literally light the fires in about thousands of people if they knew that the INFJ mindsets are often some of the strongest. They can either create the hell that we vibrate in, or they can release us from it. That's usually where we go. Okay? That's the nature of heaven and hell for you. We create it. So, there are other planes of development in love. So, it's not only that. But what I want to say is thank you for watching. Own your own vision. Dig deep and ask yourself, can I bring forth the truth of Justice Gorsuch or not? He's of honor. He's of distinguished being. He's also admitting guilt in his vision of Christian mindset influence on a soul level. He can't help it. It's part of his identity. It's part of his vision. It's part of his ideology. It's part of his religious understanding. He's not a religious soul in as much as he is of, I can do the work that needs to be done here on this plane. Whether you like it or not is not my problem. I don't give a blank is usually where he goes in his mind. He's of Christian, but he says, I utilize those words very often in my mind. Now, with that said, I want to honor your visions of love. Take care. Have an amazing day. And just realize this is a beautiful vision. Again, people, if you want to hear from your own souls, it's going to be gentle. I hold no grudges towards any one vision. I've dealt with what we would consider to be some of the worst souls who've done some horrific things, and my heart always goes to compassion, because once you reach those other levels, you do realize we are innocent in many ways. I mean, it's not to say or give excuse to some of the ideas about why we do what we do, but it's literally, a lot of us do not realize what's going on and who comes here to do what. Some of us are here to do destructive visions. They are not to be deemed evil, because usually it's putting a process in play that needs to be shown to us so we can vibrate out of it as a country or as a global vision. Okay? So, again, take care. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your beauty wherever you land. And have an honest discussion with yourself about the joys in which you create love. Because that's where most of us are trying to reach out to find those who love who we are and who we align with. And the alignment is only part of the issue. Souls come together with Brenda because that's the soul attraction. These are for those ideas of those who are in business and have an idea of like, who am I going to attract into my heart as soul visions? Who do I align with? That's part of it too. There's always more going on behind the scenes. So have a wonderful day.